Hello everyone and welcome to this week's small business training session. Now the last 8 weeks we've been covering a lot of topics associated with getting a business set up, and this week marks a little bit of a change because our next 4 lessons to the end of the course are going to be focusing on expanding our businesses once they've been set up. So let's start today by thinking about what we've covered so far. So our first lesson was a bit of an introduction, and I challenged you to think about whether you really wanted to own your own business or whether you would prefer to work for somebody else. And then in lesson 2 we talked about getting a business started, a new business started. It's very important to not be afraid to start small and to understand what the cost is to get the business up and running. And then in lesson 3 we focused on our income and our expenditure, thinking about what our running costs were going to be. And then we developed that a little bit more in lesson 4 when we focused on managing money. And at that point I introduced the idea of money pots and the difference between money that's associated with your business and the money that you can take out of the business as a personal wage to spend as you wish. And then in lesson 5 we covered balance sheets. So these are bringing together income and expenditure so that we can keep a track of all the money that is coming in and out of the business. Then lesson 6 was managing risk and thinking especially about avoiding disasters. And then in lesson 7 we covered the business plan, which is really a place where we can put everything together in one place. So we have a document, a plan, which describes the whole of your business. And then finally, last week's lesson 8, we talked about having a unique selling point. What is the unique selling point for each of your businesses? So this week we're going to think about how to expand your business. And there are many ways that we can expand our businesses. One way is to apply for a loan. So this particularly would be in the case where you would perhaps want to buy more equipment to help you produce more things in your business, and you don't have the money already to buy that equipment. So you might apply for a loan in order to get that money. Other ways of expanding the business are investing more time and experience, and also investing your own money in the business. So there will be, if you are following the balance sheets and the money pots principle, you will be building up some savings. You will be building up some long-term savings, which you can obviously use in buying more equipment and helping to make your business bigger in that way. Another way of expanding your business is by adapting and diversifying. I had experience of a lady who was selling chips, and she adapted her business because the price of potatoes went up. I may have mentioned this before. But she then started to sell samosas. So she used the same equipment that she had, a deep fat fryer, to sell samosas. So she adapted the business, and actually, as well as solving a problem, the problem was the increasing price of potatoes rather. As well as solving a problem, she also made her business broader and bigger. You can expand your business by working on your customer service and experience, by making it better for customers who will then want to come and return. You can expand your business by thinking about the competition and what you can do to make your businesses better than other people. Another way of expanding your business is by adding value. In other words, adding extras to the things that you're selling. So if you are selling clothes, for example, what are the things that you can offer your customers that other clothes sellers don't do? That's adding value. Marketing and advertising is another area that you can think about. How to get the word around that you have a great business, a great service, and attract more customers. And that links into public relations as well, making sure that your reputation as a trader is a good one. Sales and sales management is another area, just being clear about what you are selling and thinking about how you can do that better, and also building resilience. So in other words, we have in the past talked about having a long-term savings pot so that you can have money in the bank should you have a disaster and you need to pay some extra unexpected fees out. That's all part of building resilience. So now we're going to focus on money. So for example, to expand your business, you may need to buy some new equipment. It might be to be able to produce more things more quickly. And it may be that you've got some money already saved up in your long-term savings pot to spend on this equipment. Or it may be that you don't have quite enough in that money pot. So what do you do? Well, one of the things you can do is wait until you've saved enough money and then you go off and buy the equipment. Or another way is to apply for a business loan, get some extra money to help you buy that equipment now rather than later. But of course you need to be sure about being able to pay off the loan, and we'll be covering that in a little bit more detail now. So let's turn things around and think of yourselves as the lender of money. So if you as a lender were to agree to lend money to somebody to expand their business, my question to you is, what would you want to know about them? And I'd imagine two key things that you would want to know is, will they be able to pay their loan back? In other words, are you going to get your money back? And also you would want to know, when can they pay the money back? So these are two important things for you to consider also if you are asking for a loan. If you want a business loan, you need to show that you can pay back the money, and also you need to be sure when you can pay it back, and the agreement that you make with whoever gives you the loan, you need to be able to stick to that. In other words, if you say you're able to pay back the loan in, say, 6 months, then you need to be able to pay that loan back in 6 months. So we're going to focus now on writing a business proposal or a loan proposal. And we're going to cover this in the next 2 lessons. So this lesson, we're going to think about the business proposal and how we describe what the current situation is. So in other words, how you describe your business right now. Because if you want a loan from somebody, you need to convince them that you have a reasonable business. And then we're going to, in a future lesson, look about how we describe our future business plan and our ROI, which stands for the return on investment. So here's another question. How do you persuade the loan company to give you a business loan? What things do you need to tell them? And the answer is that you need to demonstrate that you have a successful business already, and that you will be able to pay back the loan. Nobody would want to lend money to somebody who doesn't have a successful business. Nobody wants to lend money to somebody whose business is probably going to fail, because that means they're not going to get their money back. So how do you do this? How do you demonstrate that you have a successful business? Well, first of all, we can use our balance sheets. So using your balance sheet, you can actually demonstrate, you can actually write down and show what your actual weekly income is. So your income might go up and down a bit week by week. Some weeks you might earn more than other weeks. So what you would put onto your balance sheet is your actual average weekly income. And then, as with the balance sheets that we've done in the past, you could write down your actual weekly expenses, and also you would write down your actual weekly long-term savings. In other words, how much money you put away, how much money you save every week in order to have a savings pot for major purchases in the future or emergencies. And then also what you can show on your balance sheet is your actual weekly personal wage. In other words, what you take out of the business, what money you take out of the business for your own personal use every week. Another thing that you might want to tell the lender when you're applying for a business loan is how much money you have in your long-term savings pot at the moment. So in other words, if you can demonstrate that you have been able to save some money, then that will help your loan proposal, because it demonstrates that you can save. You are not just reliant on money coming in from outside, borrowing money from other people. And also that means that if you are applying for a business loan, perhaps some of the money that you need for the equipment you are providing from your savings, and then you are topping that up, you're adding to that with money from the business loan. And again, it's a good thing to be able to demonstrate to a loan company, somebody who's offering you a business loan, that you can save and that you can in part share the cost of the equipment or whatever that you want to buy. So that's what we're going to be doing this week, and we're going to focus on the current situation with our balance sheets, and then next week we're going to look at our business proposal in terms of the future plan, where we expect our business to go as a result of this expansion, as a result of the loan, and what our return of investment is, our return on investment. And I'll explain next week what that is all about. So you guessed it, now for this week's exercises. So first of all, what I'd like you to do as a group is to make a list of all the things that would persuade a loan company to give you a loan. So think about what would demonstrate that you have a successful business and would make the loan company confident that they could lend money to you and be able to get it back and see that it has a positive impact on your business as well. And then the second exercise is, as individuals, what I'd like you to do is write out your current actual balance sheets plus the amount currently in your long-term savings pot. So in other words, how much money you've got saved up. So I'm assuming here that you all have some businesses that are running by now. So you can write down the actual figures for things that you've made and things you have sold, your costs on a weekly basis, and also how much money you've managed to save so far. If you haven't managed to get your business up and running yet, then you can put down in your actual balance sheet what you expect to be, where you would hope to be soon. But what would be really better is to actually put down your actual expenses and your actual income and everything else, so that it gives you a clear idea of how well your business is doing. So that's it for next week. Hope you all get on really well with that. And as I say, this week has been all about doing our current balance sheet, describing how the business is now. And next week we're going to be focusing on our business plan around where your business wants to be in the future. Until next time, have fun, and I hope you get on well with the exercises. Bye.